I'm Tanita with KnowHairShame. That is KnowHairShame.com. I just wanted to take a few moments and speak with you about one of the type of the hair losses that I see kind of often. And I wanted to encourage you to go ahead and get started on some preventative measures to help to deal with hair loss that you could experience just as a result of the aging process. Genetic hair loss is the hair loss that I'm speaking of. And this is a hair loss that most people will experience just by, as we're getting older, our bodies are changing, the nutrition and our food is not what it used to be. Stressors in life that happen. Genetic hair loss is something that we may face. Now, when I speak of genetic hair loss, it is not hereditary hair loss or something that you inherit where you may be able to identify a particular side of your family, be it your maternal or paternal side of the family. It could just be a combination of both, which makes it genetic hair loss. Now, what are my points of why it is important for you to go ahead on and get started on something? Because you want to go ahead and prepare yourself that this is something that can happen to you. And if you are doing some things to help prevent it, you could decrease the amount of hair loss, if not alleviate it all. Genetic hair loss happens as a result of, over a period of time, particular hair follicles being affected by something that is called DHT. Now, I'm not going to get too technical into what it is, but in the male as well as the female body, there is testosterone. Now, we know that there is more in the male's body than there is in the female. However, it is in both. And this testosterone, for some reason, converts to something called dihydrotestosterone. And this conversion causes a form of sensitivity in the hair follicle itself. And over time, it can create a buildup. This buildup pretty much starts to interrupt with the hair's normal growth pattern, and it'll fill the follicle, which eventually will cause the area that is a tube-like pocket, which is the follicle, to close up, and you'll start to see a difference in the scalp at that point. Okay, hair goes through a cycle. Each hair follicle has its own cycle. So I want you to think about polka dots, right? You can identify dots, right? There are different sizes of polka dots. There may be a lot of polka dots or there may be few. Okay, I want you to just think about polka dots, all right? Think about quite a few polka dots, okay? And I want you to realize that each polka dot that you see can represent a hair follicle, okay? Now, each hair follicle has its own life cycle, and there are 3 stages that I'm going to talk about in that life cycle. One is anagen, one is catagen, and the other one is telogen. Anagen is the growing phase of hair. Hair can be in that from 2 to 6 years. Each hair follicle has its own. So one might be in its 2nd year growth, another one could be in its 3rd, one may be in its 5th. And if any of them get to the 6th year, they could be in the 6th year. Not all hair follicles get to the 6 years, okay? But each of them have their own growth cycle. So they may be at different years in their growth cycle. Now, each hair follicle will transition out of that anagen growing cycle and go into something that is called catagen. Catagen is a brief transitional phase that hair goes through where it stops the growing cycle, and that usually is around a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks or so, a few weeks around on an average, okay? It just stops the growing process. And it goes from the catagen phase into telogen, which is a resting phase. And this goes on for a couple of months. It rests. The hair follicle rests because remember, it's been producing hair anywhere from 1 to 6 years, on an average 2 to 6 years. And not all people, hair follicles get to 6 years of growth. But I'm just giving you an example here, okay? So then it rests. And then after it rests, The normal process is that it will go back into the anagen phase where it will start growth again. Now, what we don't want to happen is a disruption in the hair's normal cycle of anagen, catagen, telogen, because that's going to produce a totally different type of hair loss, and we're not going to get into that today. We're just going to talk about genetic hair loss. Now, I told you about testosterone being converted to dihydrotestosterone, which we call DHT. That conversion process creates sensitivity in the hair follicle. And that sensitivity over a period of time creates a buildup in the hair follicle. And it kind of like stifles out the hair's normal growing process where a hair follicle would start to grow, because the sensitivity creates like a collagen buildup in the hair follicle where hair normally would grow. And over a period of time, that follicle would close. Okay? It is very important that we are getting the right nutrients in our bodies so that our hair is able to get what is needed for hair growth to take place. In that follicle are cells, and they produce a type, a protein, which creates hair, okay? And having the right nutrients in your body, the right minerals in your body, and making sure that you're taking care of yourself and there's things that are not interrupting that cycle that the hair follicle has is important, okay? Let's say you're a person and you're doing all those things. Genetic hair loss more than likely is still going to happen in that situation. And what we want to do is go ahead and start to take supplements that will help kind of keep you in balance so that there is no disruption with the hair's natural cycle. Now, there are small capillaries, which are small blood vessels at the very base of each hair follicle. And that is, those capillaries feed the hair follicle, okay? So if there's any disruption in that, the hair follicle is not going to get what is needed. One other thing I want to tell you is that hair is a non-central organ, which means you don't have to have it in order to survive or to live. Now, if you don't have it, it does have an effect on the body, and that's a totally different thing again. Or, you know, some people, most people, when they're dealing with hair loss, it does have an effect on them psychologically, but that's not the point this evening. The point is, it is important that we have the right nutrients, the things that are needed for healthy hair in our bodies, and supplements does help with that. And so that is my point for this entire video. I do have supplements that are available to you. These supplements they've been formulated with the right vitamins and nutrients, and it has a DHT blocker. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying we take supplements, or it's a good idea to take supplements in addition to eating the right foods, right? So the vitamins that I have through World Trichology Society, right? I'm offering those to you because they do have, and they've been formulated with the right vitamins and minerals that we know that is needed to help promote healthy hair. And in addition to that, it has a DHT blocker. And so it's been formulated with something called, there's different things in there. One of the main things is something called saw palmetto, which is a DHT blocker to help to prevent DHT in the scalp so that that buildup does not happen. Okay? And that's a lot. And I kind of want to stop there with it. But I do suggest that you go ahead on and reach out to me at KnowHairShame.com so you can get started on these supplements. I will be adding more videos over a period of time on different types of hair loss. Genetic hair loss is just one that I know that happens. And I would suggest that each person or anyone that I know or that you may know, everyone have this type of supplement to help. If you're concerned about hair loss, there are some people out there that just are not worried about it. Some men that are not, but majority of the population that I have come in contact with, most of the people that I've come in contact with want to maintain and have their hair. And if that is you, go ahead on and get started with these supplements. Reach out to me at KnowHairShame.com. Again, my name is Tanita Favorite. I am a certified trichologist. I trained through World Trichology Society. And just in case I didn't say this, I got my license as a cosmetologist in 1993. So I started this a long time ago, and I got my cosmetology instructor's license in 2007. And even during that time, I had been having a desire for years to teach. But then it moved from just teaching to wanting to help people that was experiencing hair loss, because I experienced it myself, and I had to make some lifestyle changes, but it's a different type of hair loss that I experienced, and the hair did grow back. That doesn't happen for everyone. However, genetic hair loss is one that I know that I still would probably encounter at some point in my life if I didn't put some things in place to try to help to counteract that and keep as much hair as I possibly could, okay? And so I just wanted to make sure I offer that to you, let you know. I look forward to hearing from you. Now, I do want to say, if you know someone that is experiencing hair loss and it's not genetic hair loss, you're not quite sure what it is. If you know someone that is experiencing it, please reach out or have them to reach out to me at KnowHairShame.com. We will do a consultation. I'll do a consultation. I ask them questions to try to identify what is the cause of the hair loss. And once it's identified, I'll make some recommendations if it's needed. And then there's some treatments that can possibly be done in addition to the supplements. And I just want to be there to help. So I look forward to hearing from you. Tanita Favorite, KnowHairShame.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a good day.